just going to start this podcast out by asking Jossie what her theory is on squirrels.
Look, here's the thing. I usually call my hockey team squirrels, like, hey, squirrels. But
You call them squirrels?
Yeah, instead of girls.
Oh.
And it's like rhymes.
Why?
It rhymes.
Okay.
So I was just sitting outside in the parking lot waiting outside of one of my kids' appointments yesterday or whatever day it was, like -40. And there was this little squirrel. And you could tell it was like so lost and sad. Well, and like it was like, it's like a suburban squirrel, which I refer to as like, meth squirrels or whatever. They're just like so skinny.
Scrawny.
Okay.
They're just so scrawny.
Oh, yeah.
They can't get a good meal. And then they have like the hair, like the fur. How is this keeping them warm? It's so mangly and like, I don't know. I'm worried about the squirrels.
You're worried about the squirrels.
Like the population's going to
Just
die
the
off?
local ones.
Oh.
What if you could help them out? What would you do?
Probably get them on a bus and put them
A bus?
Who's
Squirrel
driving the bus?
wherever all the plump squirrels are with the
Oh.
thick fur.
Like my parents' backyard.
That's what I'm talking about. Because
All
these
of
ones
them.
that I saw, these are like city squirrels,
yeah,
right?
the
They
city squirrels, they're
they're so
They're a little rough.
Whoa,
they're not,
whoa.
how are they going to make it?
they don't have enough trees.
There's not even food.
There
You know-
are enough trees.
You know?
The acorns are squished by pedestrians.
The squirrels that live in my backyard are fat.
No, they're not. Take
Yeah,
a
they
picture.
are.
of them.
Oh, yeah, I'd like
I
to
can't
see-
take a picture of them. They run away.
I'd like to see these squirrels. This is yes.
We cut down a tree in my yard like 2 years ago. I don't know.
Murderer.
No, we cut down a tree because it was going to fall on our house. And
Reasonable.
It was my boyfriend and his family. And all of a sudden, when he cut this tree down, I just heard a bunch of screaming. Literal screaming because baby squirrels.
They're like, oh my God, my house.
They literally sound like if you made the sound of a mouse and then elongated it. That's what it sounds like. Good
Just
job,
shrieking
Peter.
squirrels.
Shrieking. And
While their house is getting maimed.
Meanwhile, Jake's family is like kind of a hunting family. So like his dad's going up with the shovel ready to like.
Make a squirrel quesadilla later.
No.
They're not even.
He was ready to like just put them out of their
Tasty.
misery. And I was like, no. And I went and got gloves on and I was like shoving them into a bucket. First of all, I was going to do it with
Into
no
a
gloves.
bucket.
I put them into a bucket because where were their mom, you can't touch them. This is what I learned as a child. You can't touch them because their moms are very sensitive to
They'll
smell.
disown them.
They'll disown them. So that's like baby bunnies. Do not touch baby bunnies. Their moms won't come back to them. So I put them in a bucket.
If
and
they've
I
been
put them in a
touched?
bush. Yeah, it's like the scent of them. I don't know.
Like, you disgust me.
I saved so many baby animals.
Like,
Animal moms
You
are so
looking
mean.
at a bunny.
You disgust me.
How could you find
They just
anything
leave them behind.
disgusting about a bunny? I don't get it. Okay, well, add those bunnies to my list of things I'm worried about.
You're worried about wild
Bunnies
animals.
that touch
Bunnies that have
get
been
touched by humans.
And then the meth squirrels.
And the meth squirrels.
Meth
Well,
squirrels and bunnies that have been touched by humans.
There's no way around. I'm top of the mount. I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over. I already told ya. I'm moving fast. You live in the past.
Squirrel. He's got a skinny tail. Sorry, we're looking at pictures of squirrels real
Which
quick.
is outrageous considering how much women's hockey we
Wait,
have
how
to
did
talk
that
about.
person get a picture of a squirrel? I thought they would run
Yeah,
away.
I thought they're like the Aboriginals.
What? What?
Isn't
That doesn't
like
make
they
any
can't get any
sense.
picture? Is that like
In
the
Zoolander, there's like a reference to Zoolander, like where he says like the Aboriginals didn't get photos taken. You don't remember this in Zoolander?
No.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Freaking, can we pause the recording?
So that we can watch this clip.
can watch
of
the entire
Zoolander?
movie.
Clip the Zoolander. Okay, I'm finding that like, before we
Aboriginals.
leave today.
All right. And
All right.
before we actually get started, a little ASMR for the people.
Ooh. I always ruin your ASMRs by saying ooh.
Isn't that what you're supposed to say?
That's like not ASMR. That's just aggravating.
So slurpy.
Do you guys hear how refreshed I am right now? And it's because I'm sipping on a Dogwood Coffee can of Rec League. And you know why I love Rec League, guys? It's because it's got 1/3 the caffeine of Zamboni cold brew, which means I can drink it all day, especially when we do 3 shows in one day. I can drink it all day and not get jittery. It also comes with some incredible can art. Look at those non-Aboriginal squirrels. They look
Wait,
fed.
those are squirrels?
No, it's definitely a dog.
Look at these Aboriginal well-fed dogs. Looking
Hence
good.
The word dog.
Looking good,
would.
looking plump, looking...
There is a snowman drinking coffee in the background.
Is there?
It seems like that would be bad for his kind.
Are you saying that snowmen are sensitive to caffeine?
I'm saying that they'd melt
It's
from the
decaf
inside
coffee.
out.
It's just, is it cold brew or
No,
is it?
Cold
it's
brew.
steaming.
Yeah, you
What?
get hot coffee.
Oh
Look
my
at the
gosh.
Somebody
picture.
wasn't thinking
Gosh.
when they gave that snowman
Didn't
hot
your
coffee.
English teachers tell you to use context clues?
I went to Catholic school.
So you didn't
Catechism clues, buddy, not context clues. Huge fan
There is
of
a-
Deuteronomy.
Huge fan.
There
Huge
is-
fan.
Jossie's favorite thing in there. A squirrel.
A tree?
No, there's a squirrel in there.
Oh, there is a squirrel. It's flying.
blue.
And there's a duck.
Oh, that
in the
squirrel's
top of the tree,
living.
too.
Livin. Okay, Rec League did start this week, by the way.
Did it?
True Minnesota Hockey Youth Rec League. First games last weekend.
Incredible.
So how
Max playing, right?
Mac is playing. He's on Sky Blue.
Dude, hell yeah. Go Sky Blue.
Yep.
You have to give us an update now on how Sky Blue's doing every week.
I will. Last week, one player had their skates on the wrong feet the whole game.
That has to hurt.
I would have fixed the problem, but my child will not let me anywhere near the ice.
The very
bench.
limited amount of time I
that would
spend in
hurt.
skates, your ankle bone, like, I just
Yeah.
feel like would be digging into the
This
side.
poor girl did not look comfortable at the end of that game.
And nobody
Helped her, not a soul. There's coaches on the bench. The refs were literally teaching the kids off sides and stuff during the game, but like nobody looked at her
You couldn't point it out and be like,
feet
hey.
and were like, once you swap.
They're wondering why she's limping around the ice.
Okay, because by the time I noticed it, it was after the game and they come off the ice and they're walking to the locker room. And I saw it from like 50 yards away. I was like, something doesn't look right. And as she got closer, I was like, the look on her face was just so sad.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever coming back to hockey. That had to be her first game ever.
Dude.
Like, why would you ever come back? Like, that was painful.
That's such a bummer.
Sad.
Yeah, it looked terrible. I feel so sad for her. How did nobody, not one coach, nobody was like, ooh, girl.
Got to flip those.
Yeah. But also, like most of us, parents of children, we've put shoes on ourselves all our lives. We've also put shoes on our kids all their lives. Like, we're pretty proficient at this. So how did they miss this? Like, how do they... The skates are, like, not... They're, like, pretty obvious, which is which.
Yeah.
Like a shoe.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
they're
how do you mess this up?
arguably easier to tell than a shoe.
How do
considering
you...
it hurt? But
How do you mess that up?
You're not paying attention. You're already late, so you're rushing. Child doesn't say anything about the skates being on the wrong feet.
I just felt super bad about that.
I would also feel bad for that person. That's
For
too
that
bad.
girl.
But go Sky Blue.
Yeah, go Sky
Go
Blue. They're
Sky
they're
Blue.
0-1 so far to the gray team.
Hey, only place to go from here's up.
Yep.
into the sky.
That's the attitude I'm looking for.
Blue. All right, let's get started. Jossie, where are we going? Where are we going first?
Oh my gosh. Well, we can do the same order we always do or something different. I choose the same order we always do.
Considering that's the order of the Google Doc, I would say yes. Let's stick to the doc, please.
Okay. We have a bunch of results, D1. We're, to remind you, still in the thick of a lot of conference play all month while these things kind of shake out, figure out who's going to end up with the most points at the end of the regular season. D1 results in the Atlantic Conference. Actually, we'll just go with Minnesota scores from the Atlantic Conference.
Okay.
Nicole Ness scored on Saturday the third goal of RIT's 4-5 loss to Robert Morris. And Robert Morris acquired their second win of the season that day. So I'm
You're very excited for
well,
Robert Morris
I'm
today.
kind of like an underdog, like cheerer.
Well, earlier today, you're like, oh, Robert Morris continues their hot streak. And they're like 2-8.
They're 2-8-2. But they got the one win and a tie last weekend. And then
Okay.
and then a win this weekend. I guess I didn't even look to see what their second game was, but I love a good Cinderella story. I mean, how do you not? Like, And then Caitlin Roberts scores the sole goal in Penn State's overtime win against Syracuse. So
Penn State and Syracuse went to overtime.
Right?
Penn State beat
It was
Minnesota
0-0 going into it.
and then gets taken to OT by Syracuse.
Yep.
Ooh, I feel a rivalry brewing between Penn State and Syracuse. Nicole Ness is not from Minnesota.
What?
No, she's from Alaska. According to Elite Prospects, she's from Anchorage, Alaska.
Look, someone's getting fired.
She played 2 years with Holy Angels.
Yeah, so we counter. How are we not going to counter?
And then played with the Alaska All-Stars for 2 years.
Dude, we're counting her.
We're
Nicole
counting her?
Ness,
Okay.
you're in.
Okay.
You're in.
You're in. You made the
are a
cut.
Minnesotan.
The wait list, don't even wait for your call. Nicole
You're
Ness.
in, girl. We got you.
Nicole Ness is in. All right, so those were my Summit scores from the Atlantic Conference D1, ECAC. Super exciting. RPI and Dartmouth played to a 0-0 tie on
Damn.
Saturday.
I feel like scores lately. I don't know why. I've been seeing so many 0-1, 1.
I'm not having it.
1.
I am
Teams
not.
are playing a sick joke on us.
I'm not
right now.
into it.
Yeah. Even in high school, I feel like it's all ties.
Lots of ties. Lots
Low
of
scoring.
low scoring. These goalies are getting so freaking good.
Maybe
though.
that's why.
They're so good, and it's every time we're pulling stats, it's always a bunch of goalies. Player of the week. It's always 3 on the honor roll are goalies for Minnesota. So goalies are pumping out of Minnesota, pumping out everywhere. But ahead of the game for hockey, that's for sure. Hockey East, the stop it goaltender of the week, Sedona Blair, who had a shutout on a Friday in the UNH's 2-0 win over BU. It's UNH's first shutout win over Boston University since 2008.
Oh my gosh, how did you find that?
Look,
Did you
I'm
read?
Rain Man.
Did you? Rain Girl.
I've been watching BU since 2007. So
Did you read that in an article or something, or did you literally go through every season?
no, I found it in a special little PDF that the Hockey
little
East
PDF.
creates on a weekly basis,
Oh,
so that I can
okay.
get tidbits for you people.
I think we just start calling you Rain Girl from now on.
You can call me Rain Girl. I don't care.
I don't care.
All right, finishing up with Sedona Blair's Stop It Goaltender of the Week Hockey East Award. 26 save perfect game on Saturday. She has 5 shutouts this season and 10 in her career.
Nice.
And then also in Hockey East, big deal. The 2025 Duncan Women's Bean Pot finished up. Championship game was yesterday. Northeastern won 4-0 in their 4th consecutive Bean Pot win. So that's pretty exciting. That's a 46-year annual tradition in Boston where the 4 Boston women's teams play to crown a champion, and it gets really exciting.
That's a big deal out there.
It's a really big deal. There were 13,279 fans there yesterday, which is the largest crowd in Massachusetts history for women's hockey and the 5th largest NCAA crowd in history. So super exciting tournament. People
Very.
are showing up for that.
Super exciting.
Yep. And then let's go Nuha, Shark Bait, Nuha.
Shark Bait Nuha.
The Player of the Week honor roll last week goes to Sydney Antonakis from Sacred Heart. She scored 1 goal on Friday night in their tie with Stonehill. And the goaltender of the week last week, full-fledged goaltender of the week honor, no honor roll attached to this, Abby Thompson from LIU.
The gal wow.
And we have heard about Abby Thompson all season, like I said, with these goaltenders. So Thompson collected a pair of wins against Assumption College this weekend. Abby's save percentage was .96. 31 saves on Friday and 26 on Saturday. So nice job, Abby. We keep seeing her week over week, and basically her and Lauren Larson switch between who gets goaltender of the week and who gets the honor roll. So Lauren Larson's honor roll this week from Sacred Heart, and Annika Lavender from Plymouth is an honor roll goaltender of the week for the Nuha this week. But that's all we've got for Shark Bait. Nuha is a slow week for Minnesotans out east as far as our powwow Shark Bait goes.
You want to go through Summit scorers and shutouts?
Well, I do, but we haven't gone over WCHA results yet. Bopped round in the WCHA, a 2nd consecutive all-sweep weekend. A couple tidbits from the WCHA's PDF. Minnesota is tied for first in the NCAA with shorthanded goals this season, and that's 5 goals.
Sick.
Big-time Bulldog, Minnesota Duluth's Eve Gascon recorded a career-best 58 saves against Ohio State on Saturday, which marks the most saves by any WCHA netminder all season. So I know that's exciting because it's Duluth, Duluth news, right? WCHA. But now we can hit those Summit scores that I haven't touched on.
Let's do it.
Rhiannon Kearns from LIU and Alexa Hanrahan also scored this weekend for the ECAC. Atlantic. Lindsay Avar scored twice on Friday at Cornell.
Yep.
Lily Deliandis scored on Friday and on Saturday this weekend. And Gabby Rude scored for Cornell. So a lot of Minnesotans at Cornell putting up numbers the last few weeks. And then Hockey East, that's where Sedona Blair's playing for UNH. Jada Habish scored for UConn, and I mentioned Sedona Blair's shutout was on Saturday. And then looking at the WCHA, Peyton Hemp scored on Friday for Minnesota. Bella Shipley scores for MSU. And Lauren Stensley for St. Thomas.
Wow.
Saturday, Maddie Clough for St. Thomas. Izzy Fairchild for Bemidji. Allie Franco at the U. Juliana Gazdick at MSU. Issa Gettle at Bemidji. Love seeing her name. And then, we almost never say a Summit score for Wisconsin. And
Almost never.
when we get to Claire Enright,
Yes.
one of the few Minnesotans on Wisconsin. And then I saved Lily Geist for last. She scored on Saturday for Stonehill. That was her 101st college game. Friday night,
She's been out of college that long.
Friday night, she played her 100th college hockey game.
God,
She had
feel
2
so
assists in
old.
their tie that night, in Stonehill's tie that night, and then 1 goal on Saturday in their win against Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart is number 1 in the NUHA, so
Dude,
that's a big
hell
win.
yeah.
Big win for Stonehill, and Lily Geist was a clear contributor there. I believe that is all of our Summit scores and shout-outs for last weekend, or I should say for Friday and Saturday, because some of these games are on Tuesdays and other days of the week, and we're not
Do you
doing
think
Summit
that
scores.
Lily Geist is that how you say it, Geist?
Yeah.
You think she's like still excited when she goes into her 101st game?
I feel like it. Well,
I would
'cause-
say yes.
Well, think about it. She's only halfway through her junior year.
Man, how many college games on average do people play?
I think she's getting like 35 or 36.
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
That means
So-
she stayed injury free.
I was gonna say, I
years.
feel like that's rare to get to 100.
Yeah, like early.
Yeah,
And she's scoring. I'm putting her on my Summit scores like at least every other week.
Would
Yeah.
she get a 5th year?
Okay, yes. I think everybody's going to get one. Although I think soon enough, the NCAA is going to change that. I think the NCAA is going to make it some duration that starts on your first day of college, that there's no
yeah.
pausing it.
Well,
or
you've got a clock.
playing
right, that
till you're
starts-
41 or whatever.
As soon as you touch the field or ice, I think your clock starts. Your NCAA clock.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I think
I
it's
don't know
One
how it
year of it,
works.
but
I
if you
never
take
get
a
it.
year off, like if you step on the ice, year 1 starts. But if you take next year off,
no. Once your clock starts, it
Then it's
starts.
starting.
You get a red shirt year, which
okay,
can be
red
used
shirt's
at
going away, I think.
It says
No way.
I think so.
Red shirting
I
is
think-
going away.
I'm
I
going
think-
to read the
I wanna
NCAA
see-
eligibility rule.
Yes.
It says it permits an athlete to play 4 full seasons in a 5-year span and grants them the ability to play a portion of a 5th season by using a red shirt.
So I feel like the NCAA is having their annual meeting right now, I think.
Are they really?
I believe. Or they did last week. I feel like there's going to be less wiggle room. There's going to be less of this, like, figuring out a way to play for 8 years. They're going to be more stringent on the 5-year. And if that means doing away with red shirt, like, it doesn't matter how you get your 5 years, but you only get 5.
I don't think they'll do away with red shirts. I think they might be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little more stringent with medical gray shirts.
Maybe.
Because red shirting is at the discretion of the player or the college, but gray shirt is based on your medical records. Like some football players have gotten 2 medical gray shirts if they've suffered season-ending injuries. I think Tanner Morgan ended up playing like 6 years because he got a medical gray shirt. Medical grayscale image. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
Well, the
we
reason
can continue
this is
while I look
relevant
this
is
up.
because when you look at teams like Duluth who have like 11 seniors on it, some of these seniors are 26, like 25 years old.
There was a college football player who I think was 27.
I know. I just heard something about that.
I think he played tight end for Miami. He was 27 years old. Ew.
So the point is,
Yeah, I feel like that's weird too. Like,
It's
I feel-
awkward.
Well, it's awkward, and then it's also like you're just like your muscles and stuff are way different when you're 27.
Oh,
versus
yeah.
when you're 22.
okay, and barely any of these girls are 22. A lot of them are graduating at 21, or their
Yeah.
senior season's ending while they're 21.
I just feel like there should be an age limit too.
You'd think. I mean,
Like, how are you still playing in college when you're 26 or 27?
well, we
years
talk
old?
about that. We talk about the lack of good development opportunities after college, or like in the 20 to 22 age range. So why we even have a problem here? Like, why not just shuffle it all down? Keep
So-
college, keep the WCHA like competitive with the rest of the country, and then have a developmental league after.
So his name's Cam McCormick. He was a tight end for the Miami Hurricanes. He played his 9th year of college football in 2024.
Wait. How?
The NCAA granted McCormick his 9th year of eligibility in 2022. COVID-19
brilliant.
gave him an extra year of college eligibility. He suffered season-ending ankle and Achilles injuries in 2018, 2019, 2020, and 21. He enrolled
You
at
just give up.
he enrolled at
Not your year, dude.
he enrolled at Oregon in 2016.
Oh my gosh. That means that
Wait, don't they have like a duck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Back
what do
to
you mean?
animals.
No,
He's-
that was
She
like,
said, oh.
yeah, and it's
He
got
is-
the green and gold. Everything about Oregon
So
for me.
he should be able to play for 9 years.
Okay, do duckling moms keep them?
What?
If somebody
If
touches
somebody
them?
touches them.
Why are you touching ducklings?
I'm just trying to figure out what baby animal I can
She's
touch.
trying to figure out if she wants to save them, if she can touch them.
No. Don't touch
can't
them.
I
Don't
think
touch
all
any of them.
baby
Don't touch any
animals
of them,
don't
Jossie.
like, because animal moms are not very nurturing.
Okay, here's the thing. Same goes for baby humans. A lot of people touch baby humans when the
And their
moms
moms-
don't want them to be touched. Like, not
But
okay.
their moms
Peter's
will
like,
still go
what?
back
Oh, man, you-
to
you
them.
On this, the pod you're talking about that?
You don't-
No, I mean like getting near them and being and
No,
Googling them. Like,
that's what I was assuming you were
okay.
talking about. But I was gonna say, oh, you don't like random people being like, "Let me hold your baby."
people.
But first
will
of all,
do
Look at
Jossie,
those cheeks.
The difference is that you go back to your baby because the scent of another.
It depends on which person.
The scent of a woman. Are we on to George Michael? Is that who wrote "Scent of a Woman"?
I have no idea.
Scent
There's like
of a
times
woman.
though
I have
where I'd
99
be like,
tabs
"Oh,
open
sorry,
right
you
now.
touched my kid. I'm ditching my kid."
I'm ditching my kid.
Oh, "Scent of a
Oh, you
Woman"
touched
is
him last. You got to hang out with him. Bye.
"Scent of a
That's
Woman"
what
is a
the
movie,
Squirrels'
not a
moms
song.
say too.
That's
You
the thing.
touched him
These
last.
moms aren't actually ditching their babies. They're trying to get 1 hour free to go to the grocery store. They cannot believe somebody
To go to
finally
the
came
nut
to help
store.
them.
Do squirrels go to the grocery store?
They go to the
They just go to
tree.
different
They
trees.
get nuts.
The grocery tree.
What do they feed their babies?
Nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know.
Worms.
There's,
Milk?
like I said, the pedestrians have squashed all the nuts.
Can baby squirrels feed?
I have no. I think it's milk.
Here's the thing. I
I'm
feel like
assuming it's
there's
milk.
neighborhoods in Minneapolis where if you drove through, like you could see people like feeding baby squirrels with bottles and stuff.
Probably. And probably trying
Probably
to
my sister.
trying to enroll them at the local elementary school. We have school choice, damn
Oh
it.
my God,
I'm
it's
moving
like-
this squirrel.
It's like Stuart Little. I love all the memes
love
with
Stuart
Stuart Little, where
Little.
they're like, if I was at this orphanage and some family came in and picked a mouse over me, I would be livid.
Right?
Like, what is wrong with me?
That's for real.
I am literally a human, and you picked a mouse.
You picked a rodent.
A mouse that drives around in his little red
That
Corvette.
car, though, is sick.
Little red Corvette. Cam McCormick is going to turn 27 in April.
Okay, here's the thing. That's not a unique story, I feel like. Maybe 9th year is probably unique a
I
little
feel
bit.
like 9th year is a unique
But if you take a
story.
look around the country last year and the year before, well, what year are we? 2025? Yeah, there's a handful of people who have leveraged this COVID.
Yeah.
Rules.
I think this is the last year you can do it, though.
Right.
That's
Like, there's
what I
got to be a
just
point
saw.
where there's no
Yeah.
way. But you know who's maximizing on it is Duluth. Duluth
Really?
has like 5 fifth years and several more than 5th years.
6 years.
So when you're
Yeah.
like this is a question I really don't know. When you're a freshman, like, and you're on the Gophers hockey team and you don't get to play,
Yeah.
does that still count as a year of eligibility?
It depends on if they redshirt you or not.
Yeah,
Because
but
red shirt just means like
You
you're
get an
not
extra
playing.
year.
I
Yeah,
don't
if
know if I've ever heard of a women's hockey player redshirting for like,
Really?
like, you know how it's like common in
Oh,
like
and I'm
men's
gonna find
sports.
this.
But
Yeah.
are women doing a
I
bunch
think
of
they
red
do.
shirting?
I feel like they do red shirts.
Maybe they are.
They do. They exist. I don't know how
Yeah,
many.
like I could
exist.
see
Yeah.
like reasons to like utilize the opportunity,
So,
but
like,
like
even
in
if
the
you're-
past, I feel like it was something men did. Like they took a developmental
Yeah.
year.
Oh, that's what they
Yep.
do. They want to get them in, have them redshirt as freshmen
practice with
because
the
you
team.
practice,
Yep.
you lift, you get
learn
used to
how
college,
to be part of the group.
you knock out a bunch of your required courses
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that the next year you can take Psych 1. Can you imagine, speaking of Psych 101, can you imagine being Cam McCormick? I'm 26 years old, and I'm in Psych 101 with a bunch of 18-year-olds.
No, barf.
Ew.
I was just thinking, he's
Ew,
literally 2 years
dude.
younger than me. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's still in college.
God,
You're still on your cell phone going, yeah, sorry, I'm going to class.
No,
Plenty of people
barf,
go to college for 8
barf.
years.
It's one thing if you like
They're called
college
doctors.
and you want to go for like whatever, a couple extra years.
If you get a master's or a doctorate,
9 years, insane.
that's
There's no way. Like there can't even be classes left to take.
You took all
I
of
literally
the
took
classes.
every single class we
You
offered
got 4 different majors.
at Oregon. Okay, well,
How
yeah.
funny would it be if he graduated with no degree?
He
No,
just
he
kept
graduated
on
with no
changing.
degree.
He just kept on changing.
He,
Gener-
he like
general
does what I do. In like
studies.
3 or 4 years. He like pulls all the creds together and finishes at DeVry.
He can
A double major and a minor.
He's gonna pop up on a commercial for Southern New Hampshire University in a couple of years.
I'd probably go.
I was working a job. I
Like this
wasn't
guy's
happy.
so efficient. He figured out a way to be in college for the rest of his life.
He's Van Wilder for real.
Weekly poll. You'll be shocked.
Okay. Oh, was it Wisconsin and Ohio State?
Wisconsin, Wisconsin,
God.
Ohio State, Minnesota, Duluth. You know what? The 3 C's have been split, and by now, a significant amount. There used to be a team called Colgate somewhere up here. Haven't seen them all day.
Yeah, their biggest rival was Crest.
bad joke.
Hit the button.
Hit the button.
I don't. That's the only.
That's not the button.
That's
Do
the-
the other button.
The only other buttons are songs, Peter.
We don't have the.
I thought
we don't
that
have
we
the
set
ba-dum
this
tss anymore.
No.
I mean, I've even got jokes on here. I've got jokes on
I've
here.
got songs. I don't have
If you could get
any-
the sound effects ready for, because I've got some jokes coming.
You don't have ba-dum tiss anymore.
No.
But
Oh
I
God.
think
I
it's a
don't
ting.
have the crickets
I think it's a
either.
ting. All right,
What
St.
happened to the
Lawrence.
crickets?
They all got overwritten because we have 32 podcasts at YHH.
I'm gonna need more buttons. Okay, I
I'll
noticed.
just make the noises with my mouth.
All right, St. Lawrence moves into spot number 7, which used to be held by Colgate. Penn State's at 8. St. Cloud's been shoved out of the top 10 effective last week,
All the way down to 11.
all the way down to 11. See ya.
Boston College is at 12. How about that?
How about that? So, as far as Minnesota schools, though, that it's looking worse for Minnesota schools than it did 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Because we used to have MSU getting votes. They're not.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Let's transition very smoothly into D3.
Dude, a hell of a segue. Nice job. Nice.
Rain woman.
It's girl, apparently.
Oh, yeah,
according
rain
to
girl.
Peter.
Rain girl.
Girl.
D3. Middlebury is in number 1. So we used to talk about Gustavus. They're not there anymore. Gustavus is
Yep.
down at 6. That's where they were last week.
Yep.
Let's see. Nothing too new going on Oswego, other than Oswego. Here's the thing. St. Norbert went from not ranked into the 14th spot. St. Mary's is getting a receiving votes. Hamlin's moving their way. They're almost in the top 15.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Middlebury also hasn't played. Never mind. They've played some good teams.
Middlebury's played some good teams, and they are playing somebody coming up here I'm excited about. I've got it in my notes.
They just played Amherst, who is ranked number 3 over the weekend, and they tied and then won in a shootout. The stupid shootout thing. And then they beat Amherst 3-1.
3-1.
I was going to go on some rant about how the MIAC and WIAC teams actually play a real schedule. Looks like Middlebury plays a real schedule. Sorry, Middlebury.
Well, here's the thing. This is like no different than like your girls' high school, your 15Us. Like when it comes to these conference play games, it's like
Do you have a reason for throwing the 15 U's in there?
I'm just real familiar.
Oh, yeah.
But like any team can win any night, like literally. Even if the papers like shows who should win or anything, like a lot of these, and then the conference play, it's like pecking order.
Yeah.
But when you look at like the top or this pack in the middle, like I saw a lot of stuff going on in D3 that I noted. So, so like you mentioned, in the NESCAC, Amherst and Middlebury tied on Friday. And then I said the Fs didn't give enough in their 2-1 loss over Trinity. Okay.
Oh, I heard your joke. hey, aren't you going to do Badum?
I was waiting for Badum Tis. All right, in the WIAC, let's see. UW River Falls beat UW Superior 8-2. River Falls, where are they? They're up at number 2, yeah. And Bailey Olson scored 4 times. She's
Hell
a
yeah,
she's a Minnesotan. She had a 4B. That's pretty epic in that 8-2 win.
That's a 4B.
It's like a hat trick, but one more.
Is that a reference to Furbies?
4B.
Furbies.
You 100% had Furbies.
I did not. I wasn't that. Like
I
I always got to
definitely
see.
had
Do you remember the
Furbies.
sweatshirt comment? Okay, like I had one cool
Yes,
thing in my life.
the
It was
trolls.
a sweatshirt. No, it was a sweater. It was a freaking sweater from Marshall's, and literally I loved it. I never felt cooler. And then I go to school in 5th grade, and you know who the only other person at school that had my sweatshirt was? The freaking science teacher.
Oh.
Never wore it again. I loved that sweater so much.
Was
You had
it-
no
What
idea
does
how
that
good it
have
looked
to
with
do
leggings.
Furbies.
Well, you were talking about cool stuff.
Well, you said,
I love
you
how
said
your brain works.
Forby, and I thought you were making a joke about Furbies.
No, 4B is short for scored 4 goals.
It's shorthand. It's shorthand.
Okay. Megan Goudreau scored twice, but they're 2 of the top 3 scorers in the country at D3.
I feel like we could just talk about Megan Goudreau all the time. on
It
this
sounds
pod.
like it. Well, she's leading the country in scoring, so she's going to come up more often because at D3, it's like what? I mean, we could talk for 3 hours about D3 women's hockey. There's 500 schools, and there's a lot going on, but she's at the top of the list. So the Kangaroos had an early goal in their pouch, but the Red Dragons from Cortland scored in the 3rd to take it to OT.
Why are we talking about Cortland and Canton?
But the Canton Kangaroos couldn't bounce back from
Oh
that.
How long did you spend on that?
Guys, this was like really late on one of these nights when it was a rough weekend or whatever.
It was
Well,
a rough
Or whatever.
People were sick. There was scream puking happening that I was trying to block out.
Oh.
Scream puking.
My kids were sick.
So
she
your
had
response-
Eventually, I got sick.
Your
about
response was
kangaroos.
ponderous.
Eventually, I got sick, but with the cold and the sick, because it was negative 20, so I wouldn't go outside. Did you guys leave?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't. And then the puking or whatever. So between the 2, I had lots of time to write that one.
Between the puking and the sick and the cold, I came up
If
with some
anyone
puns.
wants to keep in touch with the Kangaroos, just know we're your number one.
You're
feed.
you're gonna get all the Canton Kangaroo jokes that there can be. All right, moving on.
It's time to hop right along. Do kangaroos hop?
No, they
hop.
bounce.
They hop.
They punch.
No, they also hop.
Oh, okay, cool.
They don't. Have you ever seen a kangaroo walk?
For all my kangaroo
No.
content.
Oh yeah, all the kangaroos that live in my backyard.
For all
You
my
never seen a
kangaroo
nature
content, I don't know that
documentary?
much about
Why would I
kangaroos.
watch a nature documentary about kangaroos? There are so many cooler animals.
But you're not asking us
I
dumb
don't know.
questions.
I feel like kangaroos are kind of cool. I feel like this whole podcast is a very animal theme.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, also food, other
Food-
things,
food
things
and
we
animals.
hate, things we like.
Terrible movies.
Very self-indulgent.
We're going.
podcast.
We're
No,
going.
I guess I meant this episode specifically.
Oh yeah, lots
Very
of animal
animal
talk.
centric.
Very
yeah.
animal centric. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm in one of
Hopefully
those. Like,
the kangaroos are doing better than the squirrels.
well, they probably are.
Okay. Civil war between the kangaroos and the squirrels.
Kangaroos
Wait,
Who
are
aren't
says-
squirrels
who
like mini
says no?
kangaroos?
kangaroos are like one of the most ferocious animals.
But aren't squirrels just mini kangaroos?
They're not marsupials, so no.
Like,
They're
sure, they don't do the
mammals.
bounce, but like, they look similar.
No bouncing.
I haven't seen them carry anything in their pouches or in their.
Why would they be? No, they're not even in the same family.
No,
What's a marsupial?
a marsupial is like a koala.
Something that lives
It's
in Australia.
So it's not Australian.
no, I believe it's
marsupial.
the
Sleeps
I
in the
believe,
day.
I believe it's that they all have pouches.
Ah,
So kangaroos have pouches where they keep their young, and so do koalas.
Koalas?
interesting. Okay.
Yes,
I was
They-
unaware
it's
of
not-
that.
It's not like the same type of a pouch.
I feel like I did a report on koalas and left that out. Conspicuously left that out.
Well, thanks, Steve Irwin.
Probably didn't read the
Appreciate
whole
that.
book. Probably like read the first chapter.
So like an opossum is also a marsupial, and they don't have like traditional pouches. They just have like folds in their bodies. You know how they carry all their animals on their back? You ever
Wait, so
seen an
marsupials have
opossum?
pouches?
Oh,
Yeah. You guys not go to elementary school or something?
I was in the hallway.
Catholic school.
Oh yeah, we already discussed.
Oh, like literally. We had an excuse for everything.
Catechism.
Okay.
Not koalas.
Upcoming D3, folks. On this weekend, Mayak, Gustavus and St. Kate's, St. Mary's versus St. Ben's, St. Scholastica versus Bethel, Hamlin and Augsburg, which would be good. Hamlin, like I mentioned, is like 16th. Augsburg is 8th.
Killing it.
And then Concordia, Minnesota versus St. Olaf. So that's your Mayak weekend setups. But then I noted outside of the Mayak, D3, this weekend, Bowdoin, ranked number 10, is going to play Middlebury, ranked number 1 on the 28th on Tuesday. And then what do we have here? Plattsburgh, number 7, played Middlebury on the 28th. So 7 of the top 20 scores from River Falls are Minnesotan. And the top scorer from Gustavus is Minnesotan, and they are facing off on Tuesday the 28th as well. That's
Ooh,
Gustavus
Tuesday
River
the
Falls
28th.
matchup. We might need to get there.
Tuesday the 28th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where it is.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
I don't know that. I don't know where it is. River
The
Falls or
Hunt Arena?
Gustavus. But are you in Tuesday night?
It's in River Falls.
That's next door.
It's like an
That's
hour.
only like
Well,
an hour away.
Gustavus is like an hour and
True, they're probably like the
they're
same
probably the
distance.
same.
There's
amount of time.
equidistance.
Okay, hold on. Distance to River.
Okay,
Falls.
so these are non-conference matchups for D3 that I just mentioned: the Plattsburgh, Middlebury, the Gustavus, River Falls, and then Oswego and Utica, 5 versus 11,
Okay.
and they're all playing on the 28th. So again, the Gustavus River Falls game is exciting because 7 of the top scorers on both teams are Minnesotan.
I think we might go to this game, guys.
It's 46 minutes away,
feel
according
like-
to
That gives us a lot of time to visit.
Yeah.
As if we don't
Road
spend
trip,
enough time
road
to
trip.
go.
I think we could spend more time visiting.
Does that mean Jossie drives?
Wait, okay, yeah, I'll
She's
drive.
got
I just
the-
got my car washed.
She has the cool Jeep.
Okay, I came to upcoming D1 and I skipped over my MIAC results, which I was pretty excited about. So we're going to go really quickly, go back to D3 results for MIAC. So Gustavus beats St. Mary's, 4 Minnesota scores on Friday. Hannah Thompson, Grace Shook, Lily Mortensen, and Brooke Power. Augsburg beats Bethel 2-0 on Friday. 2 Minnesota scorers, Annika Milke and Tenley Stewart. And Kayla Simonson had another shutout.
Of course she did. She is just
She's on fire. And
crushing
she's
it
not
right
starting
now.
every game.
What?
I've seen like she's splitting a lot of the games, and she's had shutouts. This must be her 5th or 6th shutout this season.
No way, dude.
St. Ben's beat St. Kate's 6-2. Michelle Smith. Wait, is it Smith? Michelle Smith. It's probably Michelle Smith. Scored twice.
What?
She just accidentally deleted the S, so it says myth.
Yeah, Michelle
Oh.
Smith scored twice for St. Kate's. Ella Tuchito, Emily Wendorf, Emma Tim, Ava Stinnett, and Brooklyn Johnson scored for St. Ben's. And then Concordia Moorhead. Okay, wait. Concordia Moorhead played St. Scholastica. 3-2 was the score. Madeline Skogman scored for Moorhead. Wait, what is this? Okay, Sophie Johnson and Victoria Nelson scored for what we assume is St. Scholastica. Welcome. We'll follow up in the bullshit corner next week.
Okay, St. Scholastica beat Concordia Moorhead 2-0 on January 18th.
They split.
They split. Just bottom line.
A good report of that score.
Okay. All right, so now that we've gone from D1 to D3 to D3, we'll go back to D1. Upcoming D1.
So not Team US. Okay, upcoming D1.
Upcoming D1, ECAC, Clarkson's playing St. Lawrence this weekend. So that's
It's a big game.
a big game. That's 6 and 7. ECAC we talked about. Newha, number 5 LIU, taking on number 13 Sacred Heart University. Sorry, Sacred Heart's number 1 in their conference. They're
Yeah.
13 in the country. Okay. So that should be a good matchup in Newha on Sunday. They're 1 and 2. They're tied in the Newha. And so they're facing off. That's why I made this note. So that should be a good series and will dictate who will be the leader of the new conference after this weekend. In the WCHA, Hockey Day Minnesota this weekend, the Gophers will play Bemidji State on Hockey Day at Valley Fair in Shakopee. I noticed that Ohio State played last night, and I was wondering if they were sneaking more games in, but then I realized that no, they had that Mercyhurst series scheduled back in December, and their second game of their series was postponed due to weather, so they had rescheduled that second game for Tuesday.
Okay.
And the reason I thought they were trying to sneak more games in is because Ohio already has a series this weekend. They're playing MSU. So they're playing Tuesday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. And then Minnesota Duluth is playing St. Thomas. Bemidji is playing Minnesota Friday and Saturday. St. Cloud, Wisconsin plays Saturday, Sunday. So that is...
In Madison or in St. Cloud?
It's going to be at Wisconsin.
Okay.
All right. That's upcoming D1. And that gets us all the way to Team USA. The only thing new in Team USA is the roster is provided for the next rivalry series matchup, which is February 6th in Nova Scotia. So we'll have more time to talk about that game before the puck drops there. So we'll move straight to PW. Actually, can I quickly go to this other hockey news that I skipped over last week? The 2025 goalies to watch list for the National Goalie of the Year were announced. 33 goalies' names were added to the list. And
33. From
the new Lauren Larson, Abby Thompson, and Jaden Weiser. So a couple names that are familiar. Jaden Weiser from Albertville is that third name I mentioned. And then from Hockey East, Sedona Blair is on the list. So like I said, those are names we're hearing week over week. Nothing surprising, but we'll keep you guys posted. That award was created in 2021 to recognize the top female goalie in NCAA Division I hockey.
Sweet.
All right, P-Dub.
Yeah, last night they played in a very kind of slow game. It was a loss 0-1 to Ottawa, and it was just like not a lot of action. I don't know. It's hard to almost pay attention.
It's boring.
It was just a boring game, but that happens.
You know what, though? Edina White played Edina Green last night, and it was not boring. So
there's that.
What was the score on that one?
It was 5-3. White.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, really?
White.
You guys beat Green?
That's why I'm wearing green today. To pay homage to my number one nemesis.
Whoa.
Edina Green.
Wow, you're really burying the lead there by not bringing that up, man.
I mean, okay, sorry. As you were.
They play 2 more home games in a row. Sunday at 2 p.m., where we will all not be.
Not going to be there, sorry.
The Spectacular Championships in Blaine. And then they play Tuesday versus Toronto at 6 p.m. Some league news. They sold out Quebec City.
Okay, that is super exciting. And yes, we were so effing close when we guessed the
outcome.
But I found like
Attendance?
a super interesting statistic. Okay, the Victoire hosted 2 sold out games last week, but also let's see, they were also in this largest attended game of all time. But the Victoire have now played in all 9 of the top attended games this season, including the 4 Takeover Tour games. That total.
To be fair, all the ones that 4 of them were the Takeover Tour ones. Those are the highest attended. In
yes, and Montreal was in all of them, and totaling 63,920 fans. But attendance through 32 games this season is 235,474.
Cool.
Is that good or is that good?
It's an average of 7,400 a game.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I mean,
and considering Boston's only getting 200 people.
I was gonna say also,
but also Boston named a Boston, like a downtown Boston site for a couple of their games. So
I just told Peter that.
Good look. Boston.
Also, I feel like the weekend games, they have really good turnouts. I feel
at Songus.
At the Axe.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Like Tuesday night, you're not gonna get the biggest crowd, but also, Minnesota players, again, I'm noting Abby Breen because she scored 2 goals in their win.
You guys love Abby Breen.
We love Abby Breen.
You guys are obsessed with
I
Abby.
am.
She's from Minnesota, and also they played Minnesota and won, so that's why I'm mentioning it.
Revenge
They won
game.
4-2, and she got 2 goals. And she said in her press conference, "We have something really special, and I'm very happy to be here."
Okay, so Abby
Can't wait to keep going with them, which just means she just forgot us.
She totally forgot us, which is fine. But you know who didn't forget her was us, because all week, and I have spent extra time on X because I've been homesick and the cold and
Yeah.
everything. The internet still, the Minnesota Frost internet still loves Breen, still
Yeah.
believe we own her, and still hate the person we got as opposed to her. And so the latest is everybody is like, I mean, because she's doing well, right? She was like at 7 points last week and now probably at 9.
Yeah.
And so they're all, oh, like, don't you feel so stupid for not taking Breen? Which, yeah, like we would love Breen, but the person we got instead of her has the same stats. So
I don't think that they got her instead of her. I think I know who you're talking about. I think they just wanted I don't think there was a...
there wasn't like a round she was supposed to go in.
No, I don't think so. I think they were just mad that
We didn't end up with her.
Take her.
I
think people at the draft would have chosen her first, even though that would have been illogical.
Well, so you think then that girl just got the brunt of the problem because she was the last picked for Minnesota
I feel
when
like
Breen
that's
wasn't
probably
picked?
true.
Like, people were expecting to hear Breen and they heard this other name.
And I don't think people in the audience at least are just like...
Well, here's
they
the
just
thing. Like,
love
I was on the
Breen.
internet this week and people are posting clips of Marie Poulin pummeling Curl, like in a dangerous play.
Oh.
Not clapping for pummeling Curl. I'm just clapping
Curl's
because
head's down.
Marie-Philippe Poulin is my favorite hockey player.
Well, so all the people were so proud of her and they're posting these clips and these are like PW fans that are like popular PW personalities on the internet and they're posting the clips of this Minnesota player getting pummeled in a play that looked dangerous because they all hate her so much. But most of the internet, for those who have no clue what I'm talking about, Abby Breen obviously is like a beloved Minnesota hockey player has this like amazing career, and the Frost fans wanted her, and we didn't get her, but we did get a controversial player that was in the draft, and controversial based on presumably some likes that she'd had on her X feed, and probably some other stuff, mostly social media, I think, related. But anyway, fans are disappointed about this person based on her individual beliefs. And so now, like I said, it's frustrating to see fans cheering that this player is like potentially going to get injured
Enthusiastically endorsing violence.
because they don't stand for the same.
I also feel like they enthusiastically endorse violence at the game, just in general.
There is more violence in PW hockey than
not
any
that I'm
other
saying
women's
it's
level.
right, but I feel like in general,
Well, so-
people like cheer like aggressively.
See, I
when
haven't
people
seen
get
that
hit.
at PWHL games, though. I've seen it
many
at
have you been
NHL
to?
games. Probably a half dozen.
Yeah, every single game I'm at, people are aggressively cheering when someone gets hit.
Yeah.
I've gone to
Hit.
every single.
Hit, but
Yeah.
with intent to injure?
They don't know. A lot of these
that's
fans
not-
don't
Okay,
even
so
know
that-
the difference.
That is not
though.
what I said.
But I don't.
That is
But I don't
not
know if
what
a lot
I
of
said.
hockey fans know the difference.
No, they don't. They just see someone getting hit and they're like, "Ooh, yeah."
And what I saw was a dirty play by one of the world's best hockey players. And I thought that, like, these girls don't know what they're doing. They haven't trained to hit their whole life, and they're out there trying to hit. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I would have to watch the play to determine if I thought there was an intent to injure.
I was gonna say, I feel like
No,
most
the
of
intent is
time-
to be
Most of the time, they're not like intending.
No,
to be,
it's
like,
just
"Oh,
to
I'm gonna
get some
hit her in the
showmanship
head."
or like, right. Like, I mean, she was out there that shift pummeling people. She pummeled 3 people before she got her penalty. But so she was out there trying to rough shit up. But Curl's head was down in the hit that she hit Curl, and she hit her on the top, like she hits Curl on the head and her head's down. And then she goes from that play to the boards and hits a girl from behind into the boards.
Yeah, there was a bad hit on Denisa Shishova the other day, and they didn't call it. Also, I learned her name was pronounced Shishova like 2 weeks
As
ago.
opposed to what?
It's spelled Krisova.
Yeah.
I thought it was Krisova.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
She played for the Whitecaps.
So
I've been
it's
saying it
Shishova.
Krisova.
Shishova?
It's Shishova. Yep.
Interesting.
You can listen to it on their announcements even. But she got hit really hard in an overtime play where she literally like was going to the boards. Someone hit her like 4 feet away from the boards and she flew into them. And I was like, yeah, I feel like they should be like if the refs are going to allow the hits to happen, they should be trained how to hit.
The girls should be in checking clinics, and there
They
should be checking
should.
at WCHA, and there should be checking in high school, so that these girls aren't starting
Hurting
checking at
people.
24
Yeah.
when they don't know how to check.
And they're just going out there to be tough. They're not trying
It's like
to hurt
roller
them.
derby
Yeah.
and hockey
Yeah.
combined, and it's not that safe. And the
it's
fans are
weird.
loving it to the extent that they are. And I think that makes sense.
It's like egging it on.
It's egging it on, and then it's like then they take personal bias and and like cheer for injuring players that they don't personally have the same values.
Yeah.
That grossed me out at Twitter. That dulled my blades.
The good thing is that the PWHL is taking more responsibility with that, and they've been like banning, what's the word?
Cracking down?
From like one game, like you get banned. Suspended. Geez.
There are a lot of...
I know.
That's like the other thing that's been going on is like a whole lot of after game suspensions.
Yes.
That I'm like, you've never heard before, but there's all sorts of...
They review the thing.
There's all sorts of reviews happening long after the fact.
Kelly Panic got suspended for a game because of a hit, but they're really trying to crack down on the
But then if you're 6 feet off sides in an overtime and you score on it, that's not reviewable.
Well, I guess it's not reviewable when it's like affects the score of the game.
No.
I think it's reviewable when it's
injury.
Like, I think they're looking to crack down on like heads.
Yeah.
Like head injuries. They're like, that's really not allowed. We're going to suspend you.
Well, that's the thing. They're handing them out like hotcakes because these women,
a lot of them,
haven't been trained to hit, and suddenly they're allowed to hit, and they're 180-pound solid muscle,
and they're not also trained to like defend from a hit.
No,
so they're just
they don't know
full
how.
Speed
Right. They don't know how to hold their body to take the hit.
Yeah.
They don't know
It seems dangerous.
Seems a little dangerous. But
I also like
we'll
cringe every time because you just hear like people with like, yeah, and I'm like, that was not a good hit to cheer on. Like that was painful.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, the cheering after a body check in the PW, that doesn't surprise me. I thought you were insinuating that you heard people cheering for dirty plays at every PWHL game, and that was
not dirty plays. Mostly just any physical, like
but
any
that's the same in NHL.
Yeah, I know that is. I'm just saying, I think that also eggs it on.
Yeah,
like
they know
they're
that,
gonna hear audience cheering when they hit someone and then hit more when they're not trained to hit.
Well, so also it's a stat. It's a stat that like makes you relevant. So if you're not holding on to the puck, which is unlikely, I mean, maybe 8 seconds in the game, you gotta have done something out there. So to get a stat for a hit puts you ahead of the girl that didn't.
Yeah. Also, checking is technically allowed in the NHL, so like cheering for it is a little different when it's allowed versus when
fans want physical contact.
Yeah,
of course
across
they
all athletics.
Fans want physical contact in things that like
they will make the grocery store a physical contact sport. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Have you ever hip checked anyone in the produce aisle?
Hip check.
If I needed to get to the whatever.
The other important note was that the Victoire are now leading by 3 points, and they played 2 less games. So that's
the Victoire. Ever since we did our the Victoire have been so good.
I know they're crushing it.
Frost.
Are you saying frost like Victoire?
So that we can get.
Oh, we can't say the word Victoire anymore. We have to say frost.
I just heard a solid ounce of phlegm come up your throat.
I am sick.
Frost.
Well, I was doing it like the Victoire.
Anywho, right. I have to leave now.
So the Frost should be in first place by next week for sure.
That's all we can hope for. That's all we can hope for.
All right, well, that does wrap up another week of women's hockey here at YHH. Thanks for being loyal listeners. We appreciate you more than you know.